Hey guys, Matt here from DCLblogger.com. Just want to go through another NFT daily video. In this video, I'm going to be going through Decentraland madness, of course, again, because it's another day of madness. I'm going to be going through a little bit of CryptoKitties, Engine Coin, the Sandbox, a couple of other news pieces. So stay tuned. It's going to be really interesting. Decentraland, I'm going to go through really quickly. But basically, we've been seeing a ton of really big lands being sold at the moment. If you check out mydcl.net, you can go to sales page and then you can kind of query, you can filter this list and you can see some of the really big estates that have been sold. This one sold recently, but this is my one. I purchased this one based off the land that I sold recently. So I sold this one for 600,000 mana, 35,000 USD, 24 joined pieces. Remember, the more pieces of land you have joined, the higher you can build, the more value there is in joined estates, right? Estates are just names for joined pieces of land. So that being said, the guy that bought this for 600,000 mana also bought this piece and this piece. And anyway, I sold it for 600,000 mana. I was like, all right, well, let me go around and place some bids on some other land. So I placed a bid on this one for 750,000 mana, and the guy accepted it because he's been listing it for 2 million, 1.9. Recently listed it for 900,000, literally a couple hours ago. That's when I came in and put my. Actually, no, I put my bid before. But it seems like he put it for 900,000. An hour later, he kind of just was like, "Yo, I'm accepting your bid." So he accepted the bid for 750,000, which is a pretty damn good deal considering that the cheapest land right now is about 15,000 mana, and that's in the far outskirts. And this one is, 750,000 mana makes it 15,000 mana a piece as an estate, while being connected to DCL University and being in this really hot pocket. So there's a couple of hot pockets in Decentraland. One being this one right here in the midst of a bunch of different districts. This is really hot. Some of these lands go for like 60, 70,000 mana. In fact, I think we just saw one sell just recently. I think this one just sold for 75,000 mana 11 hours ago. So this is a very hot pocket just because of the type of districts around it. District X, Fashion Street, Virtual Reality Shopping Center. It's kind of like a little secret spot in between a bunch of different districts. Like that, this is another hot pocket because we have Vegas City, which has funding from Metaverse Ventures, which is an arm of Barry Silbert's DCG group. And Barry Silbert, as we know, has billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. I think they own 1% of Bitcoin supply. So they've backed Decentraland. They have stakes in Decentraland. In fact, they have a lot of land in Decentraland. And seeing them kind of invest into districts and giving them that money power to build out something amazing is really cool. So having Vegas City or being in between Vegas and Decentraland University, I think this is going to have a lot of value. I would be willing to sell that for more than 30,000 pieces. I would think this would be worth around 20,000 mana plus each, at least. Probably, hopefully get 25 to 30,000 mana each. If not, I'll build something nice on it because it's in the midst of a really good district. Anyway, the reason why I brought these two up is because to kind of explain the kind of Ethereum volume we are seeing. We're seeing 2,200 Ethereum volume, but a couple of the sales are because of my transfers. So I personally like to delete that from there because you got to be realistic. I don't want to see sales volume that involves me because that's not kind of interesting to me personally, because that doesn't mean new investors are coming in. But saying that, we've had a ton of sales recently based on new investors. Like, it's been going absolutely crazy. I think someone shared the statistics on the land sales that we're getting. Let's kind of really quickly look at it. Don't want to really talk about Decentraland too much because there's a lot to get through. But just because this is just taking a lot of space right now, we have to explain what the hell is going on. So let's click on Decentraland. So this is single parcel sales history. Remember, there's two pages here on nonfungible.com. One is single parcel sales history. Now, the past week, we've had 185,000 USD in volume, 148 transactions, 3.2 million mana spent in 7 days. Okay, now let's check out the Decentraland estate. So there's two pages for this. So for estates, we have had 4.5 million mana spent. That's almost a million mana a day. 265,000 USD. So that's 400,000 USD for the 7 days. Almost $1 million in sales. 36 transactions. Let's look at this graph right here. Pretty crazy. Let's look at the stats graph on mydcl.net as well. This is the last we're going to be looking at this. Make sure you know your valuations, guys, and I tweeted this out before, but I don't want anyone to get ripped off. So make sure you read what the hell is going on, and before FOMO buying, make sure you read what it is Decentraland about. I've also got a valuations tweet that I did before that a little bit in my other NFT video article, DCL land market analysis. Make sure you read that too, because it's going to give you an average price of what to expect to buy things for, so you're not overpaying. But look at that. Look at that shite. That is crazy. I have not seen a spike like that since ever. Like this spike right here is during the second auction, so we can't include that. But this spike right here is an organic spike. Like that's due to demand. Holy shit, if that continues. I can't imagine that continuing, guys. I can't. I can't imagine that continuing. You know, we're in a hype phase right now, and it's visible by what the hell is happening with Mana. Look, Mana's at 627 Satoshi. It's gone up in the last 10 to 12 days. It's like almost doubled. So we're in hype mode, and maybe it's a good hype. Maybe it's sustainable, because after launch, is Decentraland going to be? Is it going to be an awesome place to hang out? If it does, we might see this sort of volume continue, but it's going to completely dwarf everything we've had before, which is freaking crazy, because we've had a lot of volume in the past. So what's this? 2.4k lines over here. So have we? Is this reached? So this is at 2.4k. It's kind of topped that as well. A sale amount in Mana is. So did we have a 3.4 million day? 3.4 million Mana day. Whoa. Okay, I think that is the highest we have ever had. All right. Well, there you go. That's crazy. Anyway, Landmark is going nuts. We already know that. Recent tweets, a couple of recent tweets I wanted to go through was CryptoKitties is going to be part of the treasure hunt. Personally, that's exciting, knowing that there's some partnerships going on there, and we're mixing in terms of interoperability, which is going to be a really big thing. But personally, I'm not too excited because I don't think there's much value to CryptoKitties. Hopefully, there's going to be some really expensive CryptoKitties to find that I'll be a part of. But there's hundreds of thousands of CryptoKitties out there, so hopefully they're not like the really cheap ones. But it's going to be fun to find them. That's pretty cool. And one really other big thing is the fact that names are now tradable. Big deal. Big freaking deal. We know that people sell RuneScape accounts just for the names, and other, name-driven, being able to sell your name as an ERC21 token gives you value transfers. So I have the name Neo. I've got Satoshi Nakamoto. Is that going to be worth something? Probably. I mean, I can sell it now. So you can have different names like Batman. There's hundreds and hundreds of names. Like imagine all the name characters you can have. It's going to get nuts, right? So suddenly, is there going to be a marketplace for names? I think there will. I mean, there's a market names for website names. There's a marketplace for subdomains on Ethereum, or even names on Ethereum. Now, this as a subdomain is pretty cool. You can send money directly to the subdomain, and it's great to see the name aspect of Decentraland also having that decentralization aspect to it. But that's pretty crazy, and I wasn't paying attention before, and I was like, oh, I don't think they're gonna make names tradable. But now that they are, I think a lot of people that were stocking up on names before will be rewarded. That's pretty cool. So that's that. We went through this article. We went through this. Man is going nuts. We've gone through that. Do your research. Make sure you do your research. Went through a few different sales that's happened. Let's talk about Engine. Actually, let's talk about the Sandbox first. All right, boys and girls. The Sandbox is a cool kind of Minecraft world game that's kind of being launched on the blockchain. It is from the parent company Animoca Brands, which is a big deal because Animoca Brands have a lot of brand power, and as you can see that they have the ability to join some previous brands they've been part of. Shaun the Sheep. I think there's some really big ones over here, or there was. They've got F1 Delta as well, which is a Formula 1 game. So basically, they're having a lands around these games. You're going to probably have these mini games within this world, and you can buy and sell your land just as you can for your Decentraland land. So it's very interesting. I know they have a land sale happening at the moment. Let's kind of take a look at the land sale. Let's really quickly look at the land sale at the moment, if we can find it. So you can buy and sell assets. I know that you can buy and sell different assets as well. People can make their creations and sell them. But personally, unless you cap the cap these in terms of supply, eventually these are going to be worth nothing. I'm sorry, that's just how it works. Supply and demand, hundreds of thousands of different items being released there, it's going to be worth nothing in time. So I think people in NFT blockchain have to be very careful, developers, in really moderating the supply. For example, for Decentraland wearables, if suddenly everyone's going to be designing wearables, it's going to destroy the marketplace. I hope they're going to be very selected people that have like a limit of releasing maybe one mythic every 6 months. That's what's going to drive the value of these places. You're going to need certain items out there in the marketplace that are extremely rare, and no one can replicate that. All right, looks like the map is loading over here. But while that's loading, let's keep going through it. So they went through their first pre-sale over here. I believe they sold 3,000 pieces of land, 2.5%, 2.5% of the world. This one was another 5% that is currently going on. So all up 7.5% of land currently. So that's 9,000 pieces of land, around $30 each. I think I heard by someone else. The only issue I have with this is the fact that there is still so much supply of land to be released out there. Look, this has already been sold. This is in a pre-sale at the moment, and the first auction sold in 4 hours. This one I think is taking a little bit longer to sell. Just wait till this loads. But land discovery. The unique thing about Decentraland and crypto voxels, and the reason why lands are going up now in the secondary marketplace, is because we already have all of the land pretty much sold out. In Decentraland, all the land sold out. You can't get any more land. The only way is to buy from someone else. In crypto voxels, the same thing is going on. Pretty much they have about 4 to 5 weeks until all of their land is sold out as well. But with Sandbox, the thing is that there's still so much land to be released out there. You don't know if you're getting a good deal now. If demand for the land dies out in the 4th, 5th, 6th stages, people that initially invested, especially if they got to wait a long time for gameplay, and this is what happened with Decentraland, where you had to wait about 1 or 2 years for launch, guys. So a lot of people got frustrated and sold their land, right? So the similar thing happens where early investors just have to wait too long, especially with an altcoin bull market seems to be around the corner. We might see with a bull run around the corner, we really might see people desperately wanting to jump into there. So we might see, whether it be Decentraland or these lands, people might be selling this for cheap. So personally, I'm not going to get involved until a lot of the other land has been sold, at least 50%. Like, price discovery is impossible at this stage until more land has been sold. Supply and demand is a real thing. What gives value to land is really the utility. It's supply and demand. I mean, with Decentraland, think of it. You couldn't do anything with the land for 2 years or for 1.5 years. The only thing that gave it value was the fact that someone else was willing to buy into the project. It's only recently where we can actually build things. So right now, for me, it's about what's going to happen with this place. I don't know why this is not loading, but we're just going to go off this thing right now. But anyway, so that's interesting. The Sandbox, you can kind of get involved if you want. They have a couple of competing projects. They've got Engine Craft, similar type of thing built on Engine. I don't know how well Engine Craft is doing it, but they've also got Crypto Voxels, and we all know Crypto Voxels is smashing the charts at the moment. They're also kind of Minecrafty a little bit, and people have been using them, and artists are getting involved and things like that. I think some people from Crypto Voxels are also getting involved in the Sandbox as well. So that's going to be interesting to watch. But yeah, Crypto Voxels has been out for 2 years, and people have been developing on it. So I think, the Sandbox seems very promising, but it's going to fall behind a little bit when all of these projects are really pushing forward with content and getting the community involved. But you know what? It has strong brand power, so that's going to be very interesting to watch, to see what happens. Engine, I had a guest post. I was, welcome Victor over here, who made this really cool post about Engine games. So Engine is a platform, and they've been around for ages, guys. Engine Coin has been around for ages. They built a platform to help developers integrate and tokenize their games. So we have games over here, a list of some really cool games on Engine. Disillusion, 9 Lives, these all look really, really cool. Forgotten Artifacts. It seems like Engine have the ability to get some really good game devs on board and build So they can just use Engine to tokenize and sell their in-game items in the Engine wallet. One more thing is I feel like Engine's kind of a really cool experiment of interoperability as well, because having a token you bought from War of Crypta as a pet or whatever this monster might be, that same token, another developer could give that token value in their game, Forest Knight. That pet might be a sword for you or something else, right? So the different games can involve the different games can give value to different tokens, and suddenly whatever you bought here is available in different games. So that sort of interoperability is very unique to the NFT blockchain scene. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that happens. But yeah, just really wanted to quickly go through that. Let's go through this now. Should we go through this now? No, we will not go through that now because I want to talk a little bit more about Decentraland. I want to do a quick evaluation on wearables. So wearables have been moving up the charts, almost 100 Ethereum worth of sales. A lot of that has to do with the fact that these wearables are being bought in Mana, and Mana is going up, so it makes sense that that value is going to go up. Hopefully this is recording well. Let me just double check. Yep. Okay. All right. So let's just go through some recently sold items. Wearables are pretty cool. You can customize your avatar in Decentraland, and Decentraland have very limited amount of items that they've sold. Some of these are mythic, some of them, so for example this one right here is a mythic item. There's only 10 of these available in the world right now, so if you're buying this, you're only buying one of 10 released from Decentraland. Last sold for 7,000 mana. 7,000 times 6 cents is 420 USD for that mask. Some popular wearables. So how this kind of works at the moment is Decentraland have used these for activities, and for the unclaimed ones, they kind of sell them as a pre-sale on the marketplace, so on OpenSea. So this is a pre-sale, I believe, right now. You can buy it for 5,000 mana, and once you buy this, another one will be minted, and another one will be minted until they reach their 10 cap. So you can see these guys have bought it. If you go to Sugar Club, and so I think that was the fourth one purchased. If you go here, I don't know what the hell this guy's on about, but let's go to wearables. Let's find that wearable. So Jester Hair looks like this one, 4 out of 10. Oh, Sugar Club, is that too sad to tell? Yeah, Jester Hair, 4 out of 10 for this one. So that means that there's only going to be 10 released, but every time one is bought, you can buy another one. But for me personally, the value is in mythic items, legendary ones, which are out of 100, and in time everything will have value if the demand for these increase. But for me, knowing that blue party hats in RuneScape went from pretty much worthless to billions and billions of RuneScape gold, and probably like 3,000 to 4,000 USD each in RuneScape, just because of the scarcity, I feel like these are going to have value. I know that these masks, so if you look at the filter here, this was DCL exclusive masks. These are like the first things that they ever gave away as wearables, so these are going to have a little bit more value, but you definitely have to see how many of these each are released in the world. I think there's like 100 only of each, and items of 100 of supply usually sell for about 400 to 500 mana for the other categories, but just because these were the first ever, these might hold a little bit more value. I personally would be happy to pick these up for 1,000 mana. So you can see some have sold for 1,000 mana, and you can get different masks. You can get this Asian fox mask, a bunch of different, what's this, mask of Zoro or something, but it looks pretty cool. Serial killer mask. That'd be cool if your avatar's name is like something crazy like Predator or something, right? So yep, that is that. Apart from that, we had wearables released during Xmas and Halloween. I don't really like them too much, but they're still scarce, right? So you have to give some value to them. Like this right here, Jester Hair. There's only 10 of these released. There's only 10 of these released. Some of these look really cool. For example, I think there are some LED ones. These are quite popular. These have sold historically. I purchased personally these for about 7,000 or 5,000 mana each, just because they look so damn cool to be in them. and there's only 10 items of each released officially by Decentraland. So that's what gives it value to me. It looks freaking cool, and there's less of them. There's only 10. They're a mythic item. You also have the cyber items as well, similar type of thing, kind of the Tron look. These also I bought for 5,000. Some of them sold for 10,000 mana each. I would still buy them for 7 to 10. Personally, for me, I feel like they're going to hold value just because you know, they look cool, and again, they're a mythic item. There's only 10 of them in existence. But yeah, there are some Christmas ones. Christmas items like this sold for 2,700 mana. This is also, there's only 10 of these in existence. This one sold for 7,500. I don't know why, but the ski masks seem to sell for a little bit more. Maybe it looks cool outside of Christmas things. People don't really like to wear their Christmas stuff. It's not Christmas. This sold for 4,000 mana each. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely value in those as well. But personally, for me, I like the LED stuff a little bit more. But it seems to be there to be value there. So go to Decentraland Wearables, click on recently sold, and you can kind of browse through this stuff yourself. I know that once Decentraland will launch their new marketplace, which they've told us that they will do, you're going to be able to sell your name, you're going to be able to sell your land and your wearables, and it's going to be a lot more accessible to the whole Decentraland community, which don't really like to spend time and money on OpenSea. So you might see a lot more demand once you're on there. So I don't know, is it a good time to buy wearables at the moment? Yes, but there's not much data. I feel like I'm not really doing much that everyone else is doing, you know, and when you're doing something where only a handful of others are doing, you kind of doubt whether you're doing it right. But it makes sense that this stuff is going to blow up. So I'm going to just put it out there just for you guys to know. Again, mana's going nuts, all right, whatever. So what did we talk about, guys? We talked about engine, we talked about everything basically Decentraland related. I don't want to mention that word anymore for the rest of this video. Oh, shit. No, wait. I think I went through this already. No, I didn't go through this. I have to mention Decentraland again. All right, so Decentraland, this was a really cool video. Where's Ben's, man? Okay, so Ben's over here, he released this really awesome game engine for Decentraland. Check this shit out. Like, this takes stuff to the next level, guys. I don't know if you saw this. It's probably got the most shares as a game designer within Decentraland. But you can do little cool things like this, but what really blows it away is this sort of game engine he's designed where I believe the scenery comes to you. So as you move around, it looks like you're moving, but you're not. You can see he's not really moving, but it looks like he's moving because things are coming to him, right? And suddenly, it just opens up this whole new scenic thing about game building, where you can keep your unit static and have the world around you move. Shooting games become possible. Maybe racing games become possible. You know, games like you know, this beautiful ocean underwater experience might become possible. Suddenly your land might have games very intricate about it, and you can, you know, when you go to the next level, you can just kind of go to the higher level of that building to continue the gameplay. But the only thing that's important is a little bit of movement within Decentraland, so maybe like 5 by 5 parcels, and just some space. But everything else, all this scenic stuff, I believe can be reskinned using that engine. So Ben's, I'm probably going to be licensing that engine, but great to see that sort of innovation coming out of Decentraland. People are going to be building on top of each other's innovations. That's it. That's it. I don't want to say Decentraland anymore. ICE announces software platform acquisition for upcoming Backed app. So I think ICE, what they've done over here is Backed are going to be releasing an app that is going to be interesting only because of this comment. With the launch of the Backed app, we will, for the first time, offer consumers a robust platform to consolidate and use all of their digital assets, from crypto to loyalty points to in-game tokens. That is the main thing. So is this going to open up the doors for people that aren't involved in crypto to easily get involved and buy these in-game assets? If that sort of thing happens, and my dad can log into an app that he's familiar with and buy digital land, suddenly this is beyond crypto now. Like, we're going to be getting a ton more people getting involved with this stuff. But I don't think this is anytime soon, so I'm going to bank on this coming out. I'm not going to even put it into the equation for a year or two, but it's interesting to note that sort of development coming out of Backed, or those sort of statements. Sandbox we went through. Decentraland avatars, passports. volume. CryptoKitties. CryptoKitties is interesting because of the little teasers that they've given us. It seems to me that something is brewing in the CryptoKitties world. Actually, this is the wrong account. I need to go to my man Nifty Report over here, who has tweeted these cool little teasers that CryptoKitties seem to be teasing the community with. It seems like they're going to be having some sort of gameplay based around a world including your CryptoKitties. So are they going to have their own land sale? If they do, it might blow up because CryptoKitties are like the OGs of NFTs, right? They were the ones that really pushed and blew up, and everyone paid attention because people were buying cats for like random amounts of money. They weren't the first though. They weren't the first. I think CryptoPunks were like the first to really play around with the NFTs and sell them. But this is really cool. What does this mean? What does it look like? I don't think they've released much information as to what this is, but if it has got to do with land sales, it makes sense for them to have land sales and to explore doing more than just having a CryptoKitty and breeding them. I know that Axie Infinity have their world as well, so it just makes sense, right? Have items and yep, sell them, have land and host your CryptoKitties on them. So that's about it, guys. I think I've gone through everything I wanted to go through in this video. It's a little bit long, but I hope you had value. Decentraland's going crazy. CryptoKitties. That's about it, guys. I think I've gone through everything I wanted to go through in this video. It's a little bit long, but I hope you had value.